Good evening, YouTube. It's Tired Metalhead Weatherman. Hope you guys are doing very well on this first day of June. I want to start this video out, and I'm sure you can see it based on the screen here. These last couple videos have done really well. I'm very humbled by this outcome, and I just thought I'd start out the video by saying thank you. We aren't going to be slowing down here. We're just going to keep the ball rolling. And I'm just happy that even just a handful of people even watch. But to get 77, that's unheard. That to me, that's almost unheard of, especially for my channel, which is just this small little thing. Nothing really fancy here, but I love doing this, and as long as you guys are willing to watch, then I'll keep putting out videos for as long as I possibly can. Well, today's video, there's not a whole lot for me to talk about today. Severe weather threat's relatively low. I mean, there is a slight risk, but it wasn't expected to be anything major. And when we look at the reports, it definitely reflects that. Most of it's very scattered wind reports. None of it's significant. A little bit more significant hail towards southwestern Texas. But not really a whole lot going on here. There may be a severe thunderstorm watch that's issued around that area shortly. But not a lot going on at the moment there, which is good. I'm sure a lot of people would love to have a break. But we also have stuff going on in the tropics to talk about. So I've gone over, and we also got to go over Friday's threat a little bit more in depthly, but it's not going to be, like I said with everything else, it's really not going to be anything magnanimous. So we'll quickly touch on Friday's slight risk threat. And it's pretty much in the same area where we're looking at a severe weather threat right now, maybe a little bit further to the north. And then we have this marginal risk that's developed around the East Atlantic coast, as there's now probability of a potential tropical system alongside the one that's in the Gulf of Mexico, around close to home, may be forming. Chance of it's pretty low, but I do think regardless of whether it becomes something tropical or not, it's going to bring some unsettled weather into the South Atlantic coast of the U.S. here. So let's go ahead and look at the euro. Get to about 90 hours. This goes out to about 90 hours, so we'll get at least a good, I'd say 3-4 days worth of info here out of this. And then we'll go into the tropics here. I don't expect this to really be a long video, which is pretty much good, which I'm pretty sure is good for everybody. We're waiting for this to finish loading, and here's our storms right now that are in Central Plains into the early morning hours. At this point, they've lost a lot of steam. Can't really expect too much out of the hordeograph here. You have a marginal severe threat, but that's about it. Small curve in the hordeograph, but nothing organized, so we can pretty much eliminate a tornado threat. Well, there is some decent shear, but the Cape just isn't really there. Ingredients are not coming together. Not a surprise there. We have some unsettled weather to the northeast. And we'll move this along into Thursday afternoon. Business picks up a little bit, and we'll actually go back and take a quick look at day 2 and review everything. Still moving slow. For right now, the severe weather threat is mainly off to the eastern parts of the country, mainly towards the mid-Atlantic, and this threat will pick up later into the day. Here's our upper level low. This will be our disturbance that forms up around Baltimore and Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland, causing severe storms, maybe even for DC. There could be a slight chance of a brief spin up, but I'm thinking it's going to be a mostly marginal severe threat. We do have a decent, Cape's pretty limited, but we do have decent dew points and warm temperatures. So you could get a quick storm. Tornado threat looks, like I said, pretty minimal, which I'm sure a lot of us are happy about over here as well. Uh-oh, what happened here? Hang on. Well, that's weird. That's a weird look. No precip here, but Friday we expect more severe weather around the panhandle of Texas, pushing towards the south here. And then here is what a lot of us in the community are starting to think is going to become Tropical Storm Alex. We'll have to watch this closely to see whether or not it does that. And then we also got to look over here to see if there's going to be any sort of tropical disturbance that pops up here in the next few days. Because we're actually expecting 2 of them to develop. Or maybe this might be a continuation of Alex. It's weird how they have it set up on the as far as the National Hurricane Center is concerned, but I'm kind of thinking this is going to be the either the remnants or I don't know. It's a little bit sketchy right now, but we'll hash out all the details within the next 24 to 48 hours for sure. Let's go on to the Hurricane Center website where we have our 2 areas of interest. I do think that this is for the same storm. There is now an 80% of this developing within the next 48 hours. The longer we go on and look into this thing, the greater the chance increases, which makes sense. And now we have this area here, supposedly when it passes through Florida, of it may be developing. I do think that this is, let me read this real quick. That's interesting. So this is actually a separate system. It's not really being picked up on the operational models, but we'll take a look at the ensemble models here to get an idea of what could happen. Because I haven't really heard much about this until recently. And this is a brand new update too, by the way. This is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. This was only an hour ago. We'll have to watch this I'm a little bit interested in this area. I want to see if I can actually find a satellite look here if I can. It doesn't look like there's an option on here right now. It kind of sucks. Okay. Let's see if I can. Hang on a minute. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is right there. Yeah, it is pretty disorganized at the moment. And it looks like this is our area of interest right here for what's now left of Agatha and may potentially become Alex. We'll have to watch it once it gets past this little strait right here. And right around here, if I'm correct, is where one of those loop currents are. And that's what will give it the opportunity to strengthen. Yeah, this right here, this does not look very healthy at all. It looks very disorganized. No center of circulation whatsoever. No real there might be a concentrated point of low pressure. They did report a pressure drop here, but it's not enough to really have me or a lot of other people sold on this thing turning into anything. But even so, with it being this close to the country, I do believe that this will cause some very unsettled weather in the coming days. Either that or it's going off to sea. Let's take a look at the graphical tropical weather outlook. Yeah, this is going out to sea. This isn't going to be anything to worry about. So the main focus is going to be on this storm right here. Alright, so now let's take a look at the GEFS. This is the GFS this is the ensemble version of the GFS. Sorry, I keep fumbling my words here. But we can even see it right now. Here's our system. It's just now clearing Mexico. Starting to get into this little strait here between Mexico and Cuba. And and I do think this is going to be moving at a pretty good speed. I can't really get an idea of how fast it's moving, which kind of is a bummer. But I expect it to be moving at about maybe 10 miles an hour. So we go through Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon, and this thing looks like it gets its act together, and then it's expected to impact southern Florida by Friday night into Saturday morning possibly. Nothing major here, but it's going to be a quick mover from the looks of it. It's going to bring up, I do expect a lot of heavy rain to be associated with this. Some gusty winds, and maybe a handful of maybe a tornado or two can't be ruled out. A couple of water spouts especially. But that's really all I got on the GFS ensemble. Let's go to the European ensemble here. Basically the same look. We got a our center of low pressure seems to be right around here. Has this look where it has another one right here, which is kind of weird. Watch this develop, and then our point of interest shifts right back towards that same area we've been talking about, that straight. That the Euro kind of has the same look as the GFS, which increases our confidence for sure. Basically showing a storm that will be impacting southern Florida. So any of you guys towards Orlando, Miami, the Keys, you guys need to keep a close eye on this. It's not going to be anything. It's not going to be any sort of Andrew, Irma, Irene, or whatever. But this will cause a damper for your weekend plans. And we're just going to go through the rest of this model here, see if there's any sort of comparisons with the GFS. The GFS had another look of a storm popping up around western Mexico again and working its way out into the Gulf, but it doesn't look like the Euro shows this. We'll just have to keep watching these runs as they come in, and I'm more than happy to do so and show them to you. But until then, this is all I got for you guys tonight. I'll probably post another video tomorrow, especially if there's a day 3 slight risk, since we've just recently done a longer range forecast. I'm definitely going to also keep that note with yesterday's video that we're going to be definitely watching that storm that's supposed to be popping off on the 13th as that date draws closer. But until then, this has been Tire Metalhead Weatherman, and I will see you guys in the next video.